they're in the numbers. They sell their ticket allocation out, and we want to get them as happy when they're travelling back as we get the fans at home as happy as they were last week when we beat Brighton.
You've been linked with a move for Jack Wilshere, who's out of contract in the summer. No shortage of clubs, I'm sure, looking at him. But is that the sort of player that you'd like to bring in the middle to move the ball, who's capable of building a tempo?
Next season is next season. I think that our main aim is to have the right discussions at the right period of time when we can. I think that when you're living with a squad of 38 professionals, then we certainly know that adding more players can only come about releasing some and moving some on. I think that the balance of ins and outs in the summer will be and will determined on who and what we bring in. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
How much of a role then are you playing in recruitment for next season at this point?
I'm focusing on the first team and the first team winning. I think that's the first thing we do, and then there's achieving the safety mark, which we're very close to now. Achieving the safety mark on our secured position in the Premier League, and then having those discussions and moving forward when that happens, really, as well as planning most of pre-season, which is penciled in, if you like.
Big news last night was that Mark Hughes has taken over at Southampton as they're looking to avoid the drop. How big a challenge is that, going into a club with 8 games to go to try and survive and, as you say, get to that safety line?
I think that Mark's experience in the Premier League would be very important for Southampton, and hopefully they would hope that there would be a reaction to him walking through the door and giving the players a new direction. I think that we all try and do that when we come into a club that's struggling, and I think that that direction needs to be instant. You know, and we moved ourselves out of a relegation position very quickly when I arrived, and that gave us a lot of confidence. But obviously, then you've got to sustain it, and we've managed to sustain it at home, no problem. But what we haven't to sustain is the ongoing problem with the last 2 years and 3 months of Everton away results not being good enough.
And finally then, you were at the Manchester United game on Tuesday. What did you make of their performance, and obviously the English club's performance in the Champions League in general this week?
Well, I went to watch a couple of players from Seville, and I think that obviously Manchester United and its fans were very disappointed on the night, not just with the result, but the fact that they didn't apply enough pressure against Seville. I think everybody expected, and you've got such a big expectation at Man United, that they were going to get through after the 0-0 draw at their place, but unfortunately missing your chances at key moments at that level was costly. So it was a very disappointing night for the Man United fans.
Sam, I understand you don't want to put a time frame on Gylfi Sigurdsson, but the time that he is out, how much of an opportunity could it provide for David Klaassen?
It may do. I think that it's been a struggle for Davy since he arrived. I think that, and there's been a struggle since I've been here. But I mean, I think that when he gets an opportunity, and if he gets an opportunity, like all players, the players at home who've got an opportunity have done very, very well. Sometimes the players away from home have not lived up to the expectation, I think so. But he's been in the squad, and he managed a brief appearance, and if he does get the opportunity, hopefully he will shine and show what he achieved at Ajax. But at the moment we've got a squad of players that are hopefully eager and looking forward to the game against Stoke.
How much have you spoken to him about the struggle that he's had to establish himself here?
I think a few times. I think that at the end of the day, it's not just David that's struggled in his first season in the Premier League, like many players that arrive in this country. That the first year can be the very, very hardest for them, and then once they've actually had the first season under the belt, and they come in for a new season the season after, and when they know what it's all about, and they felt the disappointment of not performing to the level that they wanted to or we expected, then they've got a big opportunity to then show what they're made of and why we brought them to the club, which is an ongoing focus on everybody and an ongoing pressure on every manager and every player that's brought to a new football club, particularly in today's prices. The expectation starts